Well, CNN just admitted lacking of a lifetime, and they have a new excuse. The media is biased.
Maybe it's not so much Democrats' policies or messaging or the words that they use specifically, but there is an entire right-wing media ecosystem that doesn't exist on the left, and it does not exist in the center or mainstream, and people are getting their information in very different ways now.
Owning every newspaper and TV channel except Fox isn't good enough for them, because no one's watching them anymore.
All of us have to come to grips with legacy media is just not as important as it thinks it is. It is to you, it is to me. It's a relatively small group of people who rely on us for their information. The way people get information has shattered into 20, 30 different pieces. And so if you just look empirically at the numbers, Joe Rogan's more important than any of us. He just has a much bigger, hyper-connected audience that listens to his every word.
People listen to Rogan because he listens to people, and he's straight with them. And he can say whatever he wants, unlike the legacy media, where everything's off limits. The media should talk about the issues, not ignore them to help Democrats.
Well, we were looking at all of the crazy things Donald Trump was saying on the campaign trail, all of the frightening things Donald Trump was saying on the campaign trail. They were looking at their wallet. They were looking what groceries cost, what gas cost, what rent cost. And none of that really penetrated their conscience when they went to vote.
Nobody bought the hoaxes. Their ratings dropped. Kamala skipped Rogan, then lost. And now they feel like idiots.
We got beat because the Republicans and the conservatives built a different media system that had to do with online, had to do with podcasts, had to do with streaming platforms, and they were spending their money there. We were laughing at them. We were making fun of Donald Trump for having thrown away his ground game and doing some weird stuff online. We thought that they were idiots. It turned out we were the idiots. We woke up in a body bag because while we were knocking on doors, they were making these phones into 24-hour-a-day political weapons for themselves.
This wasn't just a loss for Kamala. This was one more nail in the coffin for the liberal media. Shocker, no one wants to watch a show that backs the status quo. Turn on CNN, and they say you got to trust the government, corporations never lie, and oh yeah, Trump's assassin, he's a Republican. The landslide proves no one trusts them. Now they're saying they're going to play fair. Bob Woodward talked with the bosses at the Washington Post. They say they're done fighting dirty.
They are committed to being very aggressive, to look at what Trump might be doing. But I think the motto is no cheap shots, that we have to be really steadfast in the reporting, but get out some of the politicalization of the commentary and stick to the facts.
Yeah, we'll see if they're sticking to that promise by Monday. But not everybody wants to change. They're still in deep denial, some of them.
No one watches cable news. Nobody watches news, okay?
Why'd you take the booking then, Rachel?
Well, you know what I mean? Like, in terms of the overall population, Ari, I mean, we're talking about 10% of the population.
No, I just have to fact check you. You know, millions of people watch all types of news and then even more on YouTube. So when you say no one, I think you mean undecided, low information, swing voters.
Yeah, no,
many people don't, many people do.
Never insult the size of a man's ratings, especially to his face. But others realize that they do have some performance issues, and it might be time to try something new.
What they have done in their online media ecosystem is build a radicalization engine. It's an elaborate multi-billion-dollar infrastructure, and there is nothing like it on the pro-democracy side. We don't have when a man is just lost and lonely and not yet radicalized, we don't have the equivalent of Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson to move that man in a feminist direction. By the way, we should educate men that it's actually really great to live with a strong woman who makes money. It's actually easier. Life is easier.
Democrats used to have a guy like Joe Rogan on their side. His name was Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan voted for Bernie. But then Democrats and CNN said he was killing people because he wasn't vaxxed. Trump said, sure, I'll talk to him. They hit it off, and Rogan endorsed him. That's what happens when you reject everyone from your party who doesn't agree with you 100%. Elon Musk, Tulsi, RFK Jr., Rogan, all former Democrats now riding with Trump. So go ahead, liberals, do a podcast. Talk for 3 hours and make it interesting. How are you going to do that if you're not allowed to defend anybody or get close to the truth?